City 3, Liverpool 0. Arne Slot's men destroyed in Manchester this afternoon. City closed the gap on Arsenal at the top of the English Premier League, and Liverpool fall to 8th. 8th in the Premier League. They push Manchester United up into 7th place. They push Villa into 6th place. Spurs now up into 5th place, remain in 5th place. Sunderland remain in the top 4 going into the international break. Chelsea in 3rd, followed by City, who close that gap to 4 points with Arsenal. City reacted to Arsenal's slip up yesterday against Sunderland today, and they smashed Liverpool. They destroyed them. They were the better team. We're going to go through the game. We're not going to ignore VAR, though, and we're going to have 2 separate conversations, and this is a message to everybody. Leave now if you lack intelligence. Leave now if you're here purely for banter, because you're going to hate the PG, MOL, VAR section. But we are functioning people, functioning adults. We can have multiple conversations at the same time, because VAR were horrendous today and must be called out for their nonsense. The panel's coming later. Husam will be joining us for everybody asking, and that'll be a real interesting one indeed. So loads to go through, Speak about that goal disallowed, different game if it's 1-1. We will be talking on that, Robert. Don't worry, it will all be getting discussed on the show. So stick with us. Stay with the Football Terrace. We're going through it all because it all needs to be discussed. But I want to start. I want to start with Manchester City. And I want to start by, first of all, congratulating City today. I thought they were fantastic. I really fancied Liverpool coming into this game. I didn't think it would be Liverpool smashing them. I went with 2-1 to Liverpool. I loved how they played against Aston Villa. I loved how they played against Real Madrid. And I felt they were going to come into this game with the bit between their teeth, with a real confidence and a bit of their swagger back. They also had players like Isak back on the bench. Wirtz was excellent midweek. They went with the same system. So there's none of those excuses today. But they came in here and they lacked confidence. They lacked personality. They lacked the right mentality for this game. And I was surprised by that. I was shocked by that. City, though, did one thing. And if you were watching here in the UK, you'd have heard Gary Neville talk about it again and again. So I'm going to mention that he said it because I want to plagiarize off him. But City did this brilliant thing where they made their press operate. The ball ended up at the feet of Konate a lot, and he reverted back to the awful performances we saw with him on the ball earlier on in the season. And you saw so many mistakes early on from Liverpool in possession. You saw Liverpool, I thought they were poor in their defensive actions, what led to the penalty. Conor Bradley today got put in a spliff, as the kids would say. But in my day, man got twined up. He got his legs broken, his ankles broken, hips broken. He needs hip replacement. He's going to be starring on the last of the summer wine at his age. He got hurt by Doku today. But Konate comes across, causes confusion, penalty given. Well saved by Mamardashvili. But you just felt that City were going to score the goals. And when you look at this game, doesn't matter how you break it down, doesn't matter which way round you slice it, whatever you do, you look at this game and City were the better team. You know, they had, yes, it was 50-50 in possession, or 49 to City, 51 to Liverpool. But that was a lot of that was when they were 3-0 up and they brought those numbers down. But 14 shots to 7, 6 on target to just 1. What I would say for City, only one big chance created in the whole game and it was missed, and that was the penalty, because their actual goals were all a little, 2 of them were a bit lucky, let's be honest, like a deflection for Nico, and like out of all the goals Haaland scored, the one that he got today, like he'll never probably score one like it again, where Konate actually gets ahead to the ball and it just hits Haaland in the head and goes in. But you know what? You've got to buy a ticket to win the lottery, and that's what they did. They battered them. They battered Liverpool. They were so much better with them on the ball. They created multiple opportunities. They just were class today, City. And I think it was a bit of a statement win. And I'm really intrigued to hear what City fans have got to say. But they closed that gap on Arsenal to 4 points. I still think the jury's out on City. Can they go on long, consistent runs? They've been on a decent run at the moment. Can they do it after the international break? They go away to Newcastle, who are not doing great themselves at the moment, to be fair. Can they go to that game and win? Or could it be one of those weeks where Arsenal beat Liverpool, beat Spurs, and then they go and drop points to Newcastle and the gap's back there again? Or could they now keep this pressure on Arsenal until their next mistake? Could they go on a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game winning run from this point? Manchester City, we know they're capable. When you've got a goal scorer like Haaland, you can do it. A manager like Pep, a goalkeeper like Donnarumma, who again today proving he's one of the very best in the world. But there's another player I want to mention, 2 players I want to mention. Obviously, Doku, man of the match, was just out of this world today. And too often I've seen people challenge his ability. I've seen too many people rightfully challenge his output, but challenge him overall. And I feel that this season's been a little bit coming of age for him. I thought he's had an excellent campaign. But today was one of the best winger performances I've seen in the Premier League in the last decade. Decision-making was excellent. His dribbling was fantastic. He was twining up Conor Bradley. He was a constant threat. Liverpool couldn't handle him or live with him. But he topped it off with the output. And it wasn't just a goal, any goal. It was an absolutely spellbinding strike. A spellbinding strike on every single level. And he thoroughly deserved it. An absolute 10 out of 10 display today for him. I personally thought it was absolutely phenomenal today, and he should be very, very proud of himself. And if he can continue to play like this, you know, the sky is the limit for him, because I just thought he was absolutely phenomenal on every single level. I also want to shout out today the man that was holding the midfield, who had a very slow start to life at Manchester City, to a point where in the summer City were actually linked with selling him. And this is one of the reasons why I don't think you should just judge players after 5 games and 10 games, even if you don't rate them too highly in the first place. Because Nico Gonzalez today, again, I just felt ooze class. Forget the rating on the screen. I didn't give that to him. That just gets dragged through from one of the sort of the websites where they get the statistics from. I didn't give him that rating. I'd have given him a 9 out of 10 today. I thought it was out of this world. Minus the goal. Forget the goal. Forget the goal. It was his control, his anticipation, his reading of the game. When he came to City, there was this big talk, 50-odd million, I think he cost. Could he replace Rodri? First 6 months, I thought were really poor. Beginning of the season, not really in the team, not really ripping up trees. As of late, and I'm not getting carried away. I'm not a City fan, but I'm not getting carried away. You've seen the version that was doing very, very well. I want to say it was at Porto. Why does my brain say in Porto and now I want to change my mind? Was it Porto or was it somebody else? I'm going to have to check now. I don't know why they got the Spanish flag up, though, next to him on there. I didn't think he was Spanish either. I don't put that up neither. So it was Porto. No, I've got the wrong Nico Gonzalez. A different Nicolas Gonzalez has come up. I clicked on the wrong one. It was Porto. There we go. And he is Spanish. Sorry. I clicked on I searched Nicolo Gonzalez and I clicked on a different Nico Gonzalez, who is Argentinian, born in 1998. Why don't I remember him? I do remember him, but I forgot who he is. Is he still playing? Oh, he's at Atletico Madrid this season on loan. Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Fantastic today. Absolutely brilliant on every single level and deserves all of his praise. And I thought City, as I already mentioned, I thought City were fantastic to a man today. You go through that team, phenomenal. Maybe Riyad Cherki, maybe the only one. But do you know what? When your team plays that well, fans of clubs like City don't nitpick on a player like that when they're winning 3-0, when they're closing the gap on the team at the top, when they've got a goalkeeper like Donnarumma, when they've got a midfielder like Nico, when they've got a striker like Haaland, when they've got Dorgu performing. Brilliant. I actually thought Foden had a very good game as well today, to be fair. I won't be mentioned because he didn't get a goal or an assist, ironically, by the eye test merchants, but he was very good as well indeed today. Deserved their win, absolutely. And look, I'd love to spare a penny for Arsenal fans' thoughts tonight. Do they see this as a win because the team they thought were their biggest challenger in Liverpool, they actually gained a point over them this weekend, and it's another defeat, and it feels like a few steps backwards again for Liverpool? Or is there a fear, a worry, a concern that City, the big blue shark, could be about to circle round again? I'd love to get your thoughts. I'd love to get your opinions on that in the comments section below. But overall, look, I want to hear your thoughts on today's game. Who stood out for you? Who the better players were? What I'm also going to speak on is VAR, and I've got to. I have to, because they're ridiculous. But I want to start this section, and it's really important to start this section by saying, City, this isn't to diminish you. Nobody's calling you cheats. Nobody's saying you've paid anybody. Nobody on my platforms is in who works for me. People in the comments might say I can't control them. This is to take nothing away from Manchester City. Please understand that, and don't get into a tribalistic mood and start bitching, please, because that'll be ridiculous. But VAR are a disgrace. The PGMOL are a disgrace. They have committed a crime in front of, 1 billion people around the world watching that game? A crime. This goal, and we'll put it up on the screen in just a moment, the goal was disallowed. We all saw the goal. Van Dijk heads the ball. Robertson ducks out the way. Yes, he is standing in an offside position. The ball goes into the side netting. Donnarumma dives, gets nowhere near it, and the flag goes up. Now, there's a few things that stood out to me straight away. Not a single City player appealed. Not a single one. The commentators never picked up on it straight away until the flag went up. And when they showed the first replay, Gary Neville, who would never defend Liverpool, said, the goal, basically said the goalie can see. Mike Dean, the ex-referee, agreed with Gary Neville. And then when they heard that VAR was going to agree with the on-field decision, Mike Dean just changed his mind. But the reason this is a disgrace, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about my opinion on whether or not you think it is or isn't against the rules of offside. Your opinion and my opinion on this is irrelevant to my agenda. And my agenda, and I'll say it proudly, is to demand and to push the PGMOL to make consistent decisions. And the reason why I think this is exceedingly important is a big decision that happened, I think it was last season, it might have been the year before. By the way, no rules have been changed in the last 2 years on this. But I want to show you something. And there's a few things. We'll show you this first, but the Premier League even lied on their Twitter feed, okay? Or lied, or left out certain information. It's like the cousin of a lie. But these are the rules. Offside. A player will be penalized if they are preventing an opponent from playing or being able to play the ball by clearly obstructing the opponent's line of vision. Now, as we all know, Donnarumma could see the ball. He could see the ball. It's very clear that he can see the ball, okay? The next is challenging an opponent for the ball. Well, we all know that Robertson didn't challenge for the ball, okay? Then it says clearly attempting to play the ball, which is close when the action impacts on an opponent. So let me read that again. Clearly attempting to play a ball, which is close when this action impacts an opponent. Now, what we know, I'm going to prove this to you in a moment, is ducking out the way of a ball isn't attempting to play the ball. Ducking out the way of the ball isn't an attempt to play it. It's the complete opposite. You are not trying to play the ball. It then says making an obvious action which clearly impacts on the ability of an opponent to play the ball. Now, again, when you go back and watch the footage back, he doesn't stop Donnarumma from diving. Donnarumma is at full stretch. Donnarumma just cannot get to the ball. He sees where the ball's going and he dives for it and cannot get there. So when you go through the laws of the game, in my view, how can he be offside? Now, again, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this with any disrespect. My opinion, though, doesn't really matter. Your opinion doesn't really matter. I don't care about our opinions on this. Because this goal, John Stones scored from a header against Wolves to win a game 2-1. And it was ruled out as offside in the moment on the field of play. And then VAR overturned it. And VAR overturned it. Obviously, I can't play the footage, but Bernardo Silva was standing in front of the Wolves goalkeeper. As John Stones heads the ball, he walks across the goalkeeper's line of sight and then ducks. As close to the same as you can get. Different, part of the goal, but exceedingly similar, okay? Extraordinarily similar. Ducks out the way. And they gave the goal. And this is what I mean by the consistency. Forget what you think. Forget what I think. We have to call the PGMOL out. Howard Webb said it was disallowed in real time. There was a bit of confusion initially as to whether it had been disallowed. It had. The on-field officials determined that Bernardo Silva had committed an offside offence when the ball was headed towards goal by Stones. He can't commit an offside offence before that because the ball was from a corner and the law prevents it from being from a corner. The fact that he had to state that you can't be offside from a corner directly was mental. Anyway, he says, but as soon as John Stones heads it forward, then Silva, position becomes relevant. Then we have to judge whether he has committed an offside offence. Remember the offences? I read the offences out to you. Standing in an offside position doesn't necessarily make you offside. You have to commit an offence in an offside position. Okay. It then says now it goes, which is he? He also has to be doing other things. Okay. So which he is. He's in an offside position, but he's got to be doing other things. He either has to touch the ball, which he doesn't, nor does Robertson. Robertson doesn't touch the ball. He either has to be in the line of sight, line or sight of the goalkeeper. We know that the goalkeeper could see. We saw it on the replays. Or he has to in some way challenge the goalkeeper. We know he doesn't challenge the goalkeeper. He just ducks out the way of the ball and actually steps further away from the goalkeeper, thus not challenging him. He says impact his movement, doesn't stop Donnarumma from being able to fully stretch for the ball. We saw that. Okay? Physically and make physical contact with him. He then goes, say he doesn't do any of those things as we can see. And this is my point. I know some people in the comments are going to go mad, call me all sorts of pejoratives and names, but I don't care whether you think it should or shouldn't be offside. That's fucking irrelevant. Am I happy Liverpool got beat? Yes. In fact, the third goal made Man United go up to 7th in the Premier League. Can you imagine? Champions of England, worst United team in 40 years. They spend $500 million and we're ahead of them after 11 games. I'm loving that. But I won't defend the PGMOL's lies and incompetence just because it hurts a rival, because I think that kills the game. I think that hurts football. And you've seen that there in black and white, well, purple and white. You've seen it. Robertson doesn't stop the goalkeeper diving, doesn't attempt to play the ball, doesn't challenge the goalkeeper, doesn't get in his line of sight. He can see the ball and its movement. We have seen these been given before. We've just shown you one on there, the John Stones header. We saw it. Man United, it was a couple of games ago, had a very similar scenario where a player, it was the Ahmad goal, the volley. And a player actually did go across the goalkeeper's sight, but it was a split second and they said no. We've seen multiple given and not this one. And the bit that frustrated me is the speed. No debate, no conversation. Just, got to be offside. And what I will say, as much as Liverpool were outclassed today, that's why we started the if you're watching a clip of this, we started the match reaction by praising how good City were. They were so much better than Liverpool. They deserved to win the game 3-0. None of this is on City. But the one thing we know as football fans, goals change games. Goals can give you more confidence. Goals can give you momentum. They can take confidence away from an opponent. We know this. It might have ended 3-1. Could have ended 1-1. And it doesn't just impact Liverpool. It impacts Arsenal that are in the title race. I mean, Man United would potentially have jumped up in the league. I'm loving that as a United fan, but it won't make me behave. I'm not a 12-year-old anymore. I can't do this tribalistic nonsense. We're not on the scene of Football Factory with Danny Dyer. Stand your ground. Oh, this tribalism. Yeah, I'll back my team for certain things, or most things, but not this shit. The PGMOL are a disgrace. And Howard Webb, as you can see, and I remembered this. I didn't remember the specifics, But I knew this had happened. And I'm sitting in group chats. I'm sitting online going, how have people forgotten this? And this is what bothers me. What bothers me is the fact that we are consistently being told one thing 1 week. Do you remember? Oh, no, Gyökeres can't be a penalty because the goalie got a slight touch. And if there's a slight touch, it isn't a penalty. After 4, 5, 6, 7 previous situations where they said the opposite. The opposite. And because they made the Gyökeres mistake, they've not given multiple other penalties since then to try and make it look like that's what they always do. So now multiple teams have not gotten rightful penalties because of a mistake, because they're incompetent at the highest level. And this is one thing I will say. Any football fan not calling this out, you are as guilty as them as hurting football. You're as guilty as them. I know that some of the guys in the manosphere don't want to call it out because blaming anything but myself is just weakness. And I'm a high value man. I know you Andrew Tate lovers. You know what I mean? I know you were on Mummy's Bitty a little bit too long and you ain't going to join in with us. I get that. You're going to go on a forum later on. Do you know what I mean? And slag off a man who pushes a pushchair with his wife or something. Like, you're going to go really crazy on someone. Do you know what I mean? What a weak man. That's what you're going to do later. I get it. Cool. But the rest of us care about the game. And Liverpool should feel aggrieved. Liverpool should be taking all that evidence, putting it together better, and going to the PGMOL. Gary Neville should be calling it out. Carragher should be calling it out. I bet they don't, but they should. And you can do two things at once. And anybody that says you can't do what I'm about to say is a liar and a charlatan. You can criticize Liverpool's performance. You can criticize the play because the players today were poor. But you can also criticize this decision. Two can exist at exactly the same time. They can literally be mutually exclusive of one another. If that's the right saying. Might have done myself there. Listen, hit the like button, please. Make sure you're sharing this because I think we have to push back. And do you know what I'd love to see today? I'd love to see City fans realize that challenging the PGMOL doesn't take away from their result. This is where football fans have got to come together because the PGMOL stinks. Look, we're going to go to some of your comments that have come through now on the show. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already on the channel. Really, really important to us that you get those buttons hit. TJ here says, dude, let other people talk and shut up. You're the Football Terrace. My platform's not happening, bruv. I'll let people on when I'm letting them on. If you don't like it, go away. Michael Oliver gave a similar goal Liverpool got for City against Fulham a few seasons ago. As VAR today, it's offside and impeding. They are just making things up as they go along. And look, this is Patrick, who's a Man United fan, and he remembers these things as well. And I'm so glad that we have such an amazing community here who understands this. And it's not about tribalism. It isn't, because what you get a lot of the times when you call out bad refereeing decisions, the fans of the club that have benefited feel like you're calling them out. And City have done nothing wrong. City aren't cheats here. They're not paying anybody. This is about calling out incompetent behavior. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, one day it's going to come back and bite you in the bum. The IFAB offside rule is broad and leaves too much subjectivity. Based on an explanation, it's offside. But ironically, if Robertson stays still, it's a clean goal. Keyword action. But what they left out on the Premier League, I didn't actually mention this when I was ranting. The PGMOL said made an obvious movement. What they left out in the Premier League statement about why they gave the decision, it's obvious movement to play the ball. They left out the wording to play the ball. Moving out the way of a ball doesn't make you offside. If you're in an offside position, say you've played through normal, you're running through on goal, but you're offside, the ball gets played to you and you stop running. And then one of your teammates runs through from an onside position and you jump out of his way to not impede him. It's not offside. How do we know that? Rashford and Bruno goal. It's not offside. We hated it. Well, I loved it. Everyone hated it. Doesn't make you offside. As long as you're not trying to play the ball, or if you step out of the way of your teammate, but you stop an opponent from being able to get there, then you are. But I thought everyone knew the law of the game, man. That's a sad bit for me. People don't know the law. Arsenal lose and draw. North London derby. City are 1 point behind. This is it. This is why I said to everybody for weeks, Arsenal have been looking unstoppable. And they still haven't lost, to be fair. Arsenal have been looking amazing. It's too early in the season. Far too early to go season's over. Only idiots would say. They're the only two people that would say it, idiots and the people that wanted to plant a seed to have a go at Arsenal later. It was so obvious, man. Let's chat Terry over some spirits. Will Pep get his credit? 5-4-1 off the ball, better. Pep does deserve his credit. He does deserve his credit, but isn't it funny? But it also shows that you can play with a back five when you're out of possession and win games, when you've got good quality footballers. He does, and I've given Pep a lot of credit in recent times, on previous shows, finding solutions, getting his team highly competitive again. It's what great managers do. Slot's defensive structure away from home against City was criminal. City were overloading the wide areas. City and Pep were always going to be a contender. Has Pep ever gone 2 years without a title? I don't know the answer. I don't think he has. Not since he was Barca manager. I don't think he's gone 2 seasons without winning one. When he actually had a job, if you probably include his final season, then the sabbatical, yes. But active years, I don't think so. Arsenal fan here. Much rather Liverpool won this game if it wasn't going to be a draw. Liverpool aren't the real deal. They are weak and leaderless. City chasing us is much more worrying. Doku is him. I understand that train of thought, mate. I do. Ball went over Robertson. Not Bernardo. Stop it, Terry. Where does it say that if you duck under a ball or just duck in general? Where's the law? There's no law. The law says you have to be trying to play the ball or in the line. You have to try and play the ball. See what I mean? When you say these things, you're not thinking it through. You have to try and play the ball. You have to get in the eyesight or the eye line of a goalkeeper and block their view. Challenge the goalkeeper or physically touch them or stop them from being able to dive. He didn't do any of those things. It doesn't matter whether he ducked under the ball. Doesn't matter if he jumped over the ball and it went under his legs. Doesn't matter if he did a triple backflip. Doesn't matter if he started doing the Macarena in front of the ball. None of that makes it offside. Learn the rules, bruv. Don't mind us. We just came to see the lovers tiff. Also, Arsenal's 55-game scoring streak survived. Let's go City. Paul's legs aren't there. I agree with you. They didn't look great today. There is consistency consistently favouring City. Well, look, City had things go against them last year. I remember the maybe it wasn't last year, maybe it was the year before, actually. Memory serves me right. But there was the foul they gave. Remember that there was a push, Newcastle Arsenal on the back of Gabriel, not give them. Next game after the international break, an even smaller push from a City player on the Liverpool goal. Not even a push on the goalkeeper, like a little breath. And they gave it as a foul by VAR. So City have had it as well. I remember covering it. 3 games in a row, Pep gave away possession. 50%. He had 50% of the ball today, bro. What are we talking about? 50% of the ball. And a lot of that, in my opinion, came once they were 3-0 up as well. I mean, I'm not too sure it was up until they went 3-0 up, they had 56% of the ball. Yeah, English. After that, 61% to Liverpool. First half, 59% of the ball. Yeah, sorry, I mean with respect. Maybe it wasn't 80% possession, but he had a lot of the ball. Best winger performance by Doku in a while. I agree, mate. Fantastic today. Out of this world. Terry, your still images are not exactly moments. We know he didn't stop him from diving because he was fully stretched. Unless you think he stopped him diving. But he could see the ball, he could see the flight of the ball because he was looking at it. And do you know how I really know that? Because goalies are all shameless. They always try and claim for everything, right? Didn't moan. Didn't go, in my way, nothing. Just was disappointed they conceded. That was a telltale sign. That was a telltale sign for me. Not a single City player did it. Arsenal are going to lose. Terry, deep down, you know it. I haven't predicted Arsenal to be favourites of the league. I went with Liverpool. I'm changing my mind about that. I haven't decided who I think's favourites yet. But show me where I said Arsenal win the league. By the way, actually go look at all my content. I've said there's a long way to go. People shouldn't be writing anybody off. I said City would be in the title race this year. I don't know why you're having a go at me for. Wrong people. It's the Arteta outage you want to go and talk to. They're the ones that have been saying that it's theirs now and they should win it. Not fucking me. How is a slight touch of the foot a penalty, but an elbow in the head is not a penalty? Please explain. Very simple. Very, very simple indeed. Because the elbow that happened yesterday, I think you're talking against Marino, he's trying to head the ball. It's a normal action and he catches him by accident. Okay? It's not nice, but it was accidental. I don't believe he's done him with his elbow. Personally, this catch today, the goalkeeper comes out and slides and his knee clips his foot and trips him up. It's a foul. Clear for me. I'm a City fan. You are 100% right. PGMOL is wrong. Thank you for being honest. I really do appreciate that, because I don't think, again, like I've said, I don't care about people's opinions on this to a certain degree. It's about looking what they tell us is the rules and how they implement them. That is what I'm focused on. Gone are the days of going, yeah, I'd change the rule to this. I don't like this new rule. I don't like that rule. Great. No, I used to do that. I'm like, it doesn't really matter, does it? This is what they've said the rules are. Are they sticking to them? And they don't. Their sons a bit, honestly, I don't mean that rudely about their mums in that way, but there we go. You want Arsenal to win, not City? Yes, because Arsenal are not as big a rival to me as City. I think that's very fair. Would you not agree? But Nick Pope's foul on Gyökeres not given. Well, Mamardashvili didn't get a touch of the ball, did he? So again, I'm not agreeing with the Gyökeres one, but that would be the distinction. If Mamardashvili got a little touch of the ball and then they still gave the penalty, then we'll have double bubble. Then we'll have a double bubble conversation today. But that didn't happen. So I can't call them out for an inconsistency that didn't exist. I won't do that. There we go. Terry is a rag chat. Of course he hates City more. What, but I spent the opening 10 minutes of the show praising how brilliant you've been. What's that got to do with anything? Come on now. But there we go. Like, share, and subscribe, please, people. Make sure you're getting that done for us. Really, really important. I'm going to bring out the panel in a few moments' time to have their say. Loads to go through on this game. Oh, I'm looking at my notes. Why are they smudged? I'll put my glass on it. That's how I got smudged. Yeah. All right, let's bring the panel out. Let's get my earphones on. Love me for who I am and not who you want me to be. It's a great Carpenters song. Something about Liverpool at the moment reminds me of that Carpenters song, that great Carpenters song, where the chorus is, you've got to love me for who I am, simply being me. Don't love me for what you intend or hope that I will be. And I think that's what Liverpool need right now, is they need their fans to just get behind them in every single which way, you know? And if you're just using me to feed your fantasy, then you're not really in love. So let me go. I must be free. That's what's running through my head. If you don't listen to the Carpenters, do it. I think listening to things like the Carpenters could fix the world. It's just nice music. It's not horrible. I think that's lovely. Right, panel time. Panel time. Let me remove my scoreboard and let me remove Nico from my screen. Let me move myself over. Who we got backstage? Should we do a little slow intro? First of all, we're bringing one of the champs of today. V's with us here. V's in the house with the blue moon behind him. Big up yourself, V. Scan the QR code and go and subscribe to his channel. I'm sure that's what it is. VR code for his channel. Big up, V. Big up. Who else we got here? We got Ash. Hang on a minute. Ash is on loser streak. How are Newcastle getting on, bruv?
Hey, listen, we don't want to talk about that. What I did have, I was hoping.
I'm doing my intro. Slow down. You know that class with the missus? She's very bored after 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Calm down. All right. That's what we're going to do. Who we got backstage? Oh, Ram's with us. Ram's here. Ooh, Tom's here. Ooh, Husam is in the house. I want to say thank you to both City and Liverpool for helping my team go into 7th place. I'm getting dizzy that high in the league at the minute, so thank you all very much indeed. Tom, Actually, no. We'll come to Liverpool fans in a minute. V, talk to me about that performance today from your boys.
Hopefully you guys can hear me. Listen.
Sorry, can I interject you again? Sorry. Talk about. I want to speak to both sets of fans about the performance. We'll get onto we'll do the VAR as a segment after we've done the performance. Does that makes sense? I think it's probably because some of you might. It'd be easier to do it that way around. So yeah, performance, please, V. Thank you, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Performance was a must. I think Pep got it absolutely right with his starting 11. I think the majority of the City fan base were like, yes, you gave us what we've been asking for with regards to the attacking players, with regards to Shirky, with regards to like playing from a position of confidence and strength. We're at home, obviously. So I was confident, but still nervy because it's Liverpool, because it's still Arne Slot. Despite some of the fan base wanting him out a couple of weeks ago, it was Arne Slot, and he's performed really well against us. I think we were ready from minute one. And it was clear that Pep, the coaching staff, I got to shout out Pep squared. Shout out Pep and Pep Linders. We were set up for the win because how they called out and realized, listen, Konate, you can have the ball all day long. Van Dijk, if you got the ball, no, we're going to rush, we're going to press, we're going to make sure you relieve that ball. But Konate was the point where we're like, okay, so show us what you can do. And I think that we were ready to pounce and take advantage and also know where the threats were. How we were playing an attack, listen, Haaland's the guy. There's no question. He's the guy. And I didn't even doubt him after missing the penalty. After missing the penalty, I was like, he's gonna give it back to us, guys. He's not gonna put his head down in shame. He's good. I think he was like obviously cursing, but the camera wouldn't pick it up. But he was like, F me. He was ready to do it. He was ready to go back and get that goal. And I didn't doubt it for a minute. I thought that Shirky was a little too nonchalant at times. I think that's why Pep took him off. But from a man, O'Reilly, my academy player, a midfielder, doing what he did against the best right winger we've seen in the Prem, right, guys? For what he did against Salah, exceptional. And I think Nico Gonzalez. I miss Rodri. I miss my Ballon d'Or. But Nico did his thing today as well. Got that early yellow I didn't agree with ref-wise, and we'll talk about the ref later in the game. But I think Nico managed the game really, really well being on that yellow. And it's not going to show up on the stat line. No one's going to talk about the GA. But Bernardo Silva was all over that pitch, being the captain that he is. I was really impressed with that and our defensive line. I got another makeshift right back. Terry, I got a midfielder playing right back. Mm-hmm. And he was sound today. He was sound. So Foden, Haaland, and last but not least, for those outside of my fan base, for those inside my fan base that wanted Doku out of this club, this is why you need patience. This is why you need to let some platinums develop. Get some wisdom, get some age, and you don't give up on these players when you see the potential there. Doku just needed some time, and he's got the confidence. He's been getting the run of games, and what a day to show out. What a day to show out. I also respect him so much because he pointed at himself and said no. He pointed at himself and said no and gave all glory up top. It was an exceptional game that we did. And if you guys want to talk about the what ifs, we can have that. But if you talk about the what ifs, just recognize we were the better team today. City were the better team.
Yeah.
No question. So I'm really happy with it. Now, and again, Terry, I'm in that arm's reach. That's all I want. Arm's reach. I was fourth favorites to start this. I just want to be in arm's reach of this Arsenal. We've got Liverpool on the back right now in the rear view. What a game. What a game. One last thing. Oh. This is why another thing. Hey, I'm an international fan. I'm across. I don't get to hear the crowd like this.
Are you? I thought you were from London. Oh, God, sorry, go on. Sorry.
No. Well, no. But yeah, you can hear it. This is why it's so amazing. The games, they've been saying that the game's kind of boring. A lot of long throws, a lot of set pieces. It's a little, but if you
Jamie Carragher has been saying that. No one else.
He's been saying that. Yeah. But again, You needed to listen to this game. Did you hear the oohs ahs with Doku today? Did you hear the oohs and ahs? I know some of you do your watch along, so you can't play it with the sound on, but the crowd were giving you the oohs and ahs. This is football. This is the city football that we need back. The viewership was down last season, Terry. I don't know if you saw the numbers. Sky Sports and the TNT were telling us the numbers were down. The viewership.
Sorry, finish your point. Sorry, Bob. Sorry.
City needs to be in this type of forum to keep the numbers up. We need to keep the viewership up.
We all do in the sense of, you actually look at the league table this year. It's a great excuse to put this up, actually. You look at this league, right? And City have pulled slightly away from the pack today, but you've got Arsenal there, then City. But if you actually look between sort of third place now after City's win and 12th, there's 4 points separating them. It's why the numbers are up. People don't care there's more long throws or set pieces. That's what they're focused on. That right now, Arsenal, it looks like Arsenal and City in this title race, but any of those teams could get into a Champions League spot. And right now, nobody quite knows who it's going to be. Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago, people were talking about title races. They're now down in 9th, right? But they could win their next game and end up finishing the weekend in 3rd. It's an amazing league. And if you guys can't see it, I can focus in a little bit closer. There we go. Sorry. No, KJ, take it down. KJ, get it off the screen. Sorry about that. I don't know what KJ putting that up.
Right.
Putting that up there, KJ. But no, listen, you guys deserved it today. You were brilliant. And yes, there's a VAR, which we'll get onto a little bit later in the show, but your performance was top notch. And your next game's away at Newcastle, who are struggling right now, as we see things. And what an opportunity to go there. And I'm not sure if it's before or after the North London derby, but an opportunity to go there and put additional pressure on Arsenal, really cement this win with back-to-backs, because that would be the most disappointing thing, wouldn't it? To go away to Newcastle and lose and Arsenal win. You kind of lose a little bit of momentum after today, but a massive game for you. So well done for the performance right across the board. Fantastic. Husam. What went wrong today? Why were Liverpool so off the pace today? Why were the players so poor at the Etihad?
Because we went back to factory settings again for no reason whatsoever. It's because we were speaking about this before the game, and I said we should do exactly what we did against Real Madrid, not just in terms of lineup, in terms of setup. We decided to high press them for no reason whatsoever. That's City's bread and butter. They know how to play out from the back. This ain't nothing like new to them. This is the manager in the world that you don't want to, play this style against. We decided to high press them for no reason whatsoever, and we ended up getting destroyed. I don't care about VR decisions or what should have stood, what shouldn't have stood. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk about it, because we should have lost this game from the first half alone by 4 goals. Like, it's just the fact that our first shot on target came from a Szoboszlai shot from far. Like, just tells you all you need to know. We offered nothing in this game. I just don't understand why we just went back to the shit that just didn't work, the shit that got us in this position to begin with. I don't understand why we went back there. Should have just stuck to the stuff that worked against Real Madrid. Just set up compact, just set up low block, be resilient, fight from a defensive perspective. And, we should be the team to counterattack them. We went away to the Etihad and we did the Bournemouth, basically. It's like before conceding the first 2 goals. We're just open, getting counterattacked. Doku absolutely abused Conor Bradley today. No one had a good game, in my opinion. Gravenberch didn't look good. McAllister. No one had a good game today. Even Szoboszlai. But Szoboszlai gets some leeway because he's been our best player this whole season. So I'm not going to go on.
I get what you meant pressing, and it made spaces. But why were so many players today? McAllister, Gravenberch, Konate, Salah. Why were they so bad on the ball today?
This is the thing that you wanted to argue every week. And this is the thing that I'm trying to explain to you, and you just don't get it. When there is like 9-10 outfield players who are all performing like crap, by definition, I can't go to every single one and go like, yo, McAllister, you're crap. Gravenberch, you're crap. Salah, you're crap. Konate, you're crap. Bradley, you're crap. Robertson, you're crap. It doesn't work this way. Them passing is because of the way that we systematically set up in a way to fail. So yes, this guy should have played the pass better here, and that guy should have tackled there, and he should have closed him down, and this should have happened, and that should have happened. But that's way too much to point out instead of just going like, There was no need for us to start the game that way.
Okay.
Us high-pressing City is the reason why they had spaces. Them having spaces is the reason why they got momentum. Them getting momentum is the reason why they scored the goal. Them scoring the goal is the reason why our players lacked belief. Our players lacking belief is the reason why maybe they didn't make a pass here and didn't make a pass there. So it's a structure thing from beginning to end. So I can't look at every single individual and go like, no, this guy should have passed the ball here and it would have changed the game.
Well, hang on, though. Hang on. When you look at this game today, their first goal, yes, you pressed them quite high, but the reason you pressed them high is because you actually knocked the ball into the channel to run onto, which has been a Liverpool tactic for years. You had them squeeze, and they played about 7 or 8 passes to get out of that, and then put together a 27 pass move. And when they crossed that ball into your box, there wasn't a lot of space because you guys got back into shape. So their first goal they scored wasn't because you all just pressed and left all this room in behind like when Man United scored. It was a very different scenario. But that being said, I don't think because you pressed early in the game, that means that threw Konate off so that he couldn't pass a ball 5 yards. I don't think that meant that Mo Salah's touch was off. His crosses were overhit. His shots were inaccurate. Went through one-on-one on goal and missed it. I don't think that made Gravenberch all over the place.
Went through one-on-one and missed it at 3-0 down.
Sorry?
Went one-on-one and missed it on 3-0 down. So
okay, so it's okay.
3-1, yeah.
Right,
but that has nothing to do with him missing.
Is there any hope of
high pressing? Has nothing to do with these players missing.
The high press didn't make him miss that in the first 5 minutes.
I never made that claim, but you're speaking it out of context. You're acting like
no, we're not.
Salah was 1-on-1 at 0-0. He wasn't.
I'm not. Husam, that wasn't the point. So the point I'm making is that whenever we try to ask you, because I want to keep it on the game, whenever we try to talk about individual players with you and how good or how bad they were, it's the system is the issue, and there's no.
Yeah, and whenever we speak about tactics, you want to make it about individuals.
What? Sorry.
And the reverse is true. Whenever I speak about tactics, you want to speak about individuals.
But that isn't true. I've done my own content on
I've already said. I think.
Hang on a minute. That isn't true, though, is it? Because I myself, and I know my audience will back me here, I spoke about your fullbacks going up while your midfield has been emptied, leaving the space in to be exploited for the fullbacks. I said that's how United could beat you, and we did that. So I have literally called out your manager for starting too many of the new players earlier on in the season. So I've called out the tactical elements, but I don't believe any team that's lost like 8 of its last 9 games or something like that. I don't think it's ever always on the manager. I don't think it's always on the players. I don't think it's always on mentality. I think there's a balance in that. Because for me, your shape
no one is saying always, though.
Well, no,
I don't think the players are blameless.
If the whole team has a bad game, it's a system, and you don't look at players. You've said that every time.
But that's by definition. I've maintained my opinion from the losses that we had this season, which is Slot is 80% to blame and the players are 20% to blame. I stick by that. I stick by that today. I'm not like Slot out or anything, but that's what I think is happening right now. And my rule of thumb for any football club, this applies to everyone. When there is 8, 9, 10 outfield players who play like crap, I can't go look at every single individual and call their individual performance.
But you can.
Because it's systematic and structural. The reason I broke it down and explained my opinion. The high press is what allowed City to have all those attacks, is what allowed City to play out from the back and create chances on the counter-attack, which then gave them momentum, which then gave them belief, which reduced the belief of our players, therefore allowing them to make individual mistakes. And when you're 2-0 down away at Man City, it's game done. Like, you're not going to come back from 2-0 down and win 3-0. And by the way, systematically, you saw the difference in the second half. As soon as Slot, completely intelligent, when you're 2-0 down, decide to actually go back to the shit that works, all of a sudden we look a lot better, but it's too late by then.
Can I ask you a question, though, with your logic, though? This is where your logic loses me slightly. When Poch was the manager of Chelsea and their fans were saying Poch is the reason we're playing badly, you spent a lot of time talking about individual players, their lack of quality, their lack of consistency, and defended Poch. Why, in that circumstance, when the team was playing badly, were you calling out Chelsea fans for wanting the manager gone because they said it was systematic? But when your players collectively play badly, it's primarily on the manager and you don't call the players out. Why is it different for you?
Okay, I'll answer that question, and it's the same thing for Jurgen Klopp as well. The year where we finished 5th, and the year after that as well, we finished the 3rd. It's the same exact answer. The reason why I was defending Pochettino is because Chelsea would go away at Wolves, and they would absolutely dominate Wolves, and they would have 4 1-on-1s, miss all of them at 0-0, and then the Chelsea fans would come after the game and go like, Poch out. So there's a difference in that, and that's the same reason why I defended Jurgen Klopp, because we dominated Manchester City. with Bradley, with Harvey Elliott, with Wataru Endo, with like 5-6 injuries. We dominated Manchester City, had more possession, more shots on target. Absolutely dominant performance, but Diaz would miss a one-on-one. Then I'm going to look at the individual. So had we dominated Manchester City today and City scored 1-0 and we didn't take our chances, I'd look at those players.
The issue with that example is, though, is you use...
That's the same reason why I didn't look at
hang on, though. But you dominated Burnley. And had it not been for a very fortunate last-second penalty, you would have dropped points in that game, and you were still blaming the system for not making you. Yeah, but again, when it comes to hang on a minute, no, it's because you wouldn't let me finish what I'm about to say. That is results-based analysis, and you're someone that's against results-based analysis. It's about the performance. So whether you dominate a team and fail to score, and they nick a winner, or you dominate but you can't break them down, and then you get a fortunate winner at the end. Your analysis should hang on. By and large, your analysis should be the same if you're someone that believes in performance-related analysis versus that. So for me, from my point of view and perspective, I actually agree with you that Slot gets things wrong. I just find it very interesting that I look at, I want to ask you, Viets today, another brilliant in Europe for you. Another game in England where he struggles. Do you think he's struggling to play in the Premier League, Viets?
No, I don't. I actually felt bad for Florian Wirtz today. I don't think he did anything wrong on the pitch out there. I'll be honest with you. I think every time he got the ball, he tried to create something happen. He tried to find through balls. He tried to find people in spaces. He played the ball into Mo multiple times, played it into Gakpo when he came on. He tried to be the connector in attack. He found like 2-3 good through balls. I feel bad for the guy because he has no striker to work with. And Arne Slot takes off our striker.
Yeah, he had the striker for the first 55 minutes and couldn't find him.
We had no one there. So Ekitike I feel bad for as well because he didn't have any service, didn't get the ball, had nothing to do. So it's just I don't criticize Wirtz.
Didn't Ekitike play with Wirtz?
Yeah, they did. But
you feel bad for Ekitike for not getting anything set up for him, but then you feel bad for Wirtz because he was setting things up. What?
I've already explained that. You just don't understand football.
Yes, but Wirtz weren't setting up Ekitike because they pressed in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, you understand football, Terry, so you get it. Yeah, okay.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said, Terry. Don't change what I said, because when people change what you said, like, let me finish, then you go on a 7-minute monologue. Don't change what I said, please. It's funny because you're the same guy that last season said, oh my God, all the Man United players look bad. So you've got to start looking at the manager and the way that he sets up the team.
No, that's not. That literally isn't what I said. I've literally been saying for the last 2 years, 90% of my squad's got to go because it ain't good enough. That's not what I said at all.
I don't think that 90% of my squad got to go. I just think we need to run back the shit that works.
I don't think 90% have got to go.
But he did that today.
The same way that we played against Real Madrid. No, we did not.
You're not going to play the same way you did against them, though?
We had more possession than Man City. I wanted us to be the team to give Man City the ball.
When the game was in the fucking bounds, no, we didn't.
He knows football. Let him break it down. He knows football.
Sorry. The facts are, up at half-time, when you said you should have been beaten by 3 or 4 goals, they had 57% of the ball. Up until the third goal went in, they had 55% of the ball. Only after the third goal did you have more possession than them, when you had nearly 62% of it. In the end, you ended up with 50.7%. But the majority of that came after going 3-0 down. Up until going 3-0 down, they had more of the ball than you. Facts.
Yeah, we had 39% possession against Madrid. 61% of the ball was by Madrid because we set up in an intelligent way. You go away to the Etihad, you have to set up defensive. You have to set up in a low block / mid block, give them the ball and try to counter attack. And we didn't do that.
Do you think we played the high press today?
We did.
Disagree.
Go watch.
We played the shit press is what we did, because ultimately, up until for the first 35 minutes of the game, City, outside of the penalty, didn't create much of anything. They weren't breaking us down consistently because we were able to get into a deep shape and limit them. The problem was today, when City would try and play out and one of our players would get a touch on the ball, any sort of mindset would vacate, any sort of structure would vacate, and it'll be fucking 8-year-old football. Everyone just chases the ball. Everyone just run for the ball and try and win it. And their first goal comes from Salah gets a touch on the ball. It goes back to Nico O'Reilly, and that shape we were in all of a sudden gets abandoned because Salah goes. Soboslai goes. Ekitike goes. Fucking who's on the right? Gravenberch goes. All of them just go chase the ball. And City, who are a much better passing team than Real Madrid, by the way, much more technically secure than Real Madrid, are able to sit there and manage one-man press. Where if one person runs, they just go, okay, we'll pass it there, or we'll pass it there, or we'll pass it there, or we'll pass it there. And ultimately, the first goal was down to another individual error from the man who made so many individual errors today in Ibrahim Konate. And I sat there after Burnley, and I said this, teams will exploit Konate's lack of passion. They will do. And what I see today, one of the best managers of all time sits there and identifies him as a fucking liability with the ball. Because he is. Missing out on Gahey cost us because we don't have the fullbacks to do build-up, which is fine if you have the centre-backs to do build-up, but one of the centre-backs can't do build-up. So City, as was pointed out, would mark Van Dijk out the game and give Konate the ball and go on, do something. Which is why you saw the manager try about 4 different solutions to fix our build-up, where Gravenberch would go to right-back, or McAllister would go to right-back, or we'd go dead narrow and try and give as many options in the middle. The fact of the matter was, today was on as much the players as it is the manager. As much the players as it is the manager. Because what went wrong today for us wasn't some deep-rooted tactical thing. It was the basics. It was the basics of football. And I'm going to sound old-fashioned. I'm going to sound fucking like it's a cop-out. But the fact of the matter is, Liverpool didn't win any of their duels today. Liverpool didn't win any second balls today. Too many times we would sit there, there'd be the first contact on a long ball, and I'd see McAllister and Gravenberch standing there, dick in their hand in the midfield, watching Nico Gonzalez or Ryan Cherky or Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva pick up the ball and start the attack again. So we were sitting there for so long making individual errors and not winning battles and giving City confidence and knocking ours that when we had the moments to hit them on the counter-attack, the only player I'd sit there today and go, you know what, he deserved better today, was Salah, because he was the only outlet. He was the only fella who I could boot the ball up to and know it was going to stick. The problem was, no one then was getting up there to support him. You sat there and defended Florian Wirtz today, he was shit. There was a moment in the first half where it's the 3-on-3, Ekitike makes a run on the blind side of the centre-back, and Florian Wirtz knobs his pass into the ground, and the defender picks it up before Ekitike can get onto it. I spent 120 million quid on you. I expect through balls like that to be coming off. Ekitike today did absolutely nothing right. Absolutely nothing right. Nothing. Out of all the players today, I'm looking at the right winger, and I'm looking at probably the left centre-back up until the second goal. Van Dijk was all right until the second goal for them, where he does the one thing, he does a cardinal sin for a centre-back. You don't throw a lazy leg out. You don't throw a lazy leg out when you're defending the box, but he does that. So today, if I'm sitting there looking at this game, and I'm trying to figure out who I can put the blame on, you're saying it's 80-20 on the manager, I'm saying it's 50-50. In fact, I'd arguably put more of the blame on these players, because he set up today with the exact same team that started Madrid, and I know for a fact that every single Liverpool fan on this panel looked at that lineup and went, he's done the right thing there. He's kept it going.
Yeah, lineup. I said that already, though, Tom. Yeah, I agree with the lineup. It's the way that we applied it.
Tom, I just want to read out some of the things that you were saying there. So today, of the duels contested, 48 won by City, okay, 31 by yourselves. Ground duels, they won 61% of them. Aerial duels, they won 62% of them. Things like successful dribbles, you both attempted the same amount of dribbles, okay, past defenders today. They completed 69 of them. You only completed 33 of them. So when you look at your players physically contesting 4 challenges, 4 the balls in the air to beat people, or the other way around where you're trying to defend against a dribble, vice versa, they were doing you man-to-man in position for position. And I understand tactics play a part, but your players just were nowhere near good enough today as well. And I think that some Liverpool fans are letting your players off the hook massively.
I can't sit there and blame Arne Slot for that, because Arne Slot's not sat there before. He might have done, but I'm not going to sit there before the game and go, Arne Slot sat there and went, you know what? By the way, guys, you know what I want today? Only win 30% of your duels. Oh, you know, if the ball's in the air, only win 3 out of 10 of them. We don't need to win more duels than that. No, I only want you to win 30% of them. We'll be fine after that. No, Arne Slot is asking the same things, but the fact of the matter is, where the players were up for it and the players done the job on Wednesday or Tuesday night against Real Madrid. Today, they didn't do it. Today, the basics weren't there. And that has been the problem all season. I think there's been mountains made out of molehills over Liverpool this season, where people have been trying to dissect everything deep-rooted tactically. Ultimately, the fact of the matter is, too many times this season, Liverpool have been out-fought, outworked, and ultimately out-basicked. We have too many times this year not done the basics better than our opposition. And if you're not doing the basics better than the opposition on the football pitch, you're very rarely going to win football matches. And again, I'm sitting here after the game going, we've been outworked and we've not done the basics again.
I hear you, Tom. Look, another mad statistic. They attempted 12 crosses today. You attempted 8, so they did do more than you. 36% of theirs found a player. Only 6% of yours did 1. So it's this. These are the things I'm talking about. It's you start going into it, and again, we all saw this in real time. But you then go back and look at the numbers, and none of them surprised me whatsoever.
They didn't have a shot. They didn't have a shot on target until the 75th minute.
I think the worst thing about that crossing stat as well is the fact that majority of our crosses were in the last 20 or 25 minutes.
Well, we didn't have a fucking striker on the pitch. We have a crossing into fucking no one in the box.
How many times we saw Szoboszlai put a ball into the box and there was literally no one in the box and Gakpo was making a late run because
why didn't Isak come on? Why didn't Isak come on at all today?
Because he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to play, Terry. He literally came back from a groin injury. I don't know why because we all know groin injuries are probably one of the most. You have to manage them the most because you can easily make it a lot longer. But I don't know why he was on the bench. We all knew for a fact he wasn't ready to play in this game.
He didn't bring him on. He didn't bring him on because we were 3-0 down. And there's absolutely no point in bringing him on at that point. If it was 1-0, if it was 1 goal in the game, do you think for the last 15 minutes he's not bringing on 130 million striker?
That's why today when you mentioned Virgil, I mean even before the goal, like. Not one player on that team deserves any credit at all. Only player that deserves credit is Mamadashvili because he saved a penalty. And he probably
gave away the penalty.
That was a poor penalty.
Either way, he made amends. At least when my other players on the pitch made a mistake, they didn't make amends for it. They just made it worse.
Dominic Szoboszlai was good,
always.
Dominic
No. Everyone knows how much I appreciate what Szoboszlai has done this season. But even today, he was ass. Every single player on that pitch was ass.
Yeah. He was only playing to hit the target.
Is that when the VAR came out? Szoboszlai had our shot on target in the 75th minute. So they were all shit.
You enjoyed this Manchester City fan because we were dogs today. We were absolutely dogs.
No, it's not even that we're dogs. No, I'm sorry. I think we're doing Manchester. I think we're doing. Look, I'm one of the biggest haters for Manchester City. Vator knows this, but I think we're doing a massive disservice. I think those guys wanted it more. They wanted to win the game more. And every single duel that they were doing, every single duel that they were contesting, they were winning every single one of them. And when I started hearing about people talking about the manager, the style of play, I'm like, hang on a second. This game in isolation, I'm sorry, these players don't want to be here. It looked like they didn't want to play. How is it whenever we got the ball and ever we win the ball back, the most important thing, we win the ball back, we just smack it along and give it back to Manchester City
or we go backwards. Instead of way. Or we go back to our goalkeeper. How many times did we win the ball back from possession high up and then pass the ball backwards?
Every time we win the ball back, I either see Verge smack it long, or I either see the Ibu Konate smack it long.
You know what? Also,
why is it then whenever the difference between us and Real Madrid as well, when we invited a lot of pressure from Real Madrid, we were able to bypass some of their press. And then
because
today,
they're not.
But it's a different team. They also press different.
Okay. The one I hear it. Manchester City, completely different team, right? So why is it the blueprint of beating Manchester City from years gone by with Pep Guardiola? Brentford's done it multiple times. You saw Aston Villa do it as well. You absorb pressure, and that's what we did at times against Real Madrid. People forget we absorbed a lot of pressure from Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. And we didn't let them have a single shot on goal, barring that Jude Bellingham chance. Why couldn't we do that today? Because the Real Madrid game was built on winning the individual battles.
Manager.
No, it's not the manager. It's not the fucking manager. It's not the fucking manager. It's not the fucking manager. Because you know what he done in the same way he did against Real Madrid.
We didn't play the same way as Real Madrid.
He played the exact same fucking line. Do you think he's not sat there?
Mate,
And when
Man City had the ball, we didn't drop into a 4-4-2 formation. We didn't drop into a 4-4-2 formation against Madrid. The manager, mate. The manager.
We didn't drop it. We didn't drop into a 4-4-2. We didn't drop into a 4-4-2 against Madrid. We didn't drop into a 4-4-2 against Madrid.
Look like ass.
We didn't drop into a 4-4-2 against Madrid. So for
2
1
weeks
minute,
to get a new guy in. Otherwise, we are done.
Oh my god.
We are
didn't
done
drop
with this
right.
guy.
So
Are you
the big difference against Madrid and against fucking City today was individual battles were won. What was the biggest individual battle that was won consistently?
Battles when we were trying to press them in their penalty area.
Well, okay, so K-Mac. Oh, hold on. K-Mac.
They just passed it through us. We didn't win those duels, mate, because they just passed the ball around us.
Yes, okay. And I don't disagree with that.
The same game as me.
Oh my! What was the biggest individual battle against Real Madrid that we won?
We went man for man.
We didn't go man for man against Madrid, so you're wrong there.
Man for man on
we
us.
Didn't go man for man against Madrid,
and we played around them.
We didn't go man for man against Madrid. We didn't.
No, Xabi Alonso went man for man against us. He should have gone long ball.
Alonso didn't go man for man against us because Husam wasn't on Soberstyle. The biggest difference against Real Madrid and Liverpool and City today was that Real Madrid forced all their attacks down the left-hand side. Yeah. And what battle was won by
right winger.
What battle was won by us consistently against Real Madrid?
Bradley Vinicius Jr. I know the answer.
Conor Bradley beat Vinicius Jr. more times than not. Who was Manchester City's best player today? And who could we not get a hold of, no matter what he done today? Jeremy Doku. So Man City followed the exact same blueprint that Real Madrid did. They noticed that our right side is exploitable because the right winger doesn't track back, so you can get one-on-ones against our fullback.
But this is
where their left winger got more joy against Conor Bradley today and Konate today than what Vinicius Jr. got, and we didn't do anything to address that at any point in this game.
Tom, before we even talk about the Real Madrid tactics, because I agree wholeheartedly with you. We played the same way that we did against Manchester City. The one criticism I had for Arne Slot, and Vator, you know this because I said this on stream with you. The one thing I said before the game, I have full faith that Arne Slot will tweak things for this specific game because the way that Real Madrid play is completely different to the way Pep Guardiola plays. And this Manchester City this season, the way they're playing as well. And the one thing he did, I was like, this is going to be a game of transitions. Man City on the transition are a frightening sight. You know how good Haaland has been this entire season on transition, but we're also damn good at transition as well. Like a couple of the chances that we made against Real Madrid were also in transition plays. Mm-hmm. And the one thing we didn't do today, we allowed Manchester City to play into their transition play, and we didn't even use our transition at all. Every time we had the ball and had an opportunity to counter or do anything, it was either Manchester City made a professional foul, which is no slight because you're here to win a game, or we can't keep the ball properly.
Yeah.
And that for me, that's not on. That's not fully on the manager. That's on the players.
I want to ask you a question. Why? I know Sam had to leave us, but why do you not feel you could keep the ball? Because I want to. Or maybe I see this differently to you and
Terry,
the rest of
the
the
panelists. I can answer that question with one word: mentality. Once we conceded that penalty, something changed in our players. The mentality shifted, completely shifted. We talk about how great Soberstyle has been as a leader. Verge has been in as a leader for the last 4 or 5 years. Something shifted within that team. The whole team, once we conceded that penalty, looked shook. We couldn't pass the ball. Everyone looked nervous. Everyone was a bit stagnant, being like, "What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?" This is the one thing that I was worried about going into this Manchester City game. If we let them have a good run of form into the penalty area, our arses will drop. And what happened? It dropped.
What do you put that down to, though? Because you're a team that in recent years have been formidable with handling pressure, but you are sort of right. It's this, you still feel, you remind me a little bit of Amir Khan at the moment. You could be looking brilliant. The jab, the speed, you get caught on the jaw, and then it's the chicken dance.
Because our players, so a lot of it was built from our own problems. A lot of City's joy came from forcing us into mistakes and capitalising off our own mistakes. we had no confidence whenever we tried to build up out the back because we had no idea what we were going to do. Because City took Van Dijk out the game, and then Konate would stand there on the fucking ball going, I can't do anything here. I haven't got passing range. I can pass it to Gravenberch. If you had pass it to Gravenberch, they're gonna press Gravenberch, and Gravenberch will lose his duel, which he did all game, and he was shit today. I'll pass it into McAllister, but McAllister's already on a booking from something stupid he done early in the game. So if McAllister then loses it, he can't afford to try and win it back straight away.
Tom,
so we got to build up. Our players had no confidence.
But was Gravenberch bad today, though?
He was.
Ash, was that because City's midfield just done him though? Is it because the tactics are bad, or could it not just be that City's players outdid Liverpool's players today in those battles as well?
No, the tactics outdid us. Tactics outdid us. They basically let us have the ball around Konate, and he was like, "There you go, that's true." And let's see what he does with it.
Yes, but hang on, but why does that make Gravenberch bad on the ball? Why does that make Wirtz ineffective on the ball? Why does that? I saw Ekitike pick the ball up in some good positions and consistently get tackled. That's not because Konate had the ball.
Yeah,
this was completely isolated today. Like every time he got the ball, he had 4 players on him.
Gravenberch just wasn't good today. Gravenberch would get the ball in the middle. He'd lose the ball in the middle.
This is where it doesn't make sense to me. I thought you were in the high press and not sitting back. And if you were pressing up more and you weren't sitting back, how are all your attackers isolated?
No, I mean when we had the ball. When we had the ball, like when we did get possession.
But you wouldn't have been, but you said you weren't sitting back. So if you got the ball and you're pushing up, they can't be isolated.
We win the ball sometimes. Like you've told us some of the duels that we won. We won the ball high up sometimes.
Yes, but if you're all pressing, and you win the ball, how can you be isolated?
Not everybody presses. This is why I'm saying we didn't have a high press today.
So it wasn't the full. Again, but the initial accusation was he had the whole team going out in a mad press together.
But he's left. He's left the panel, so we're not going to address that point anymore. That point was wrong.
We did not have a high press today. What we had was players getting excited and trying to press, which broke a setup that we had. I don't think Arne Slot wanted to press very high today. I think he wanted to do what we've done at large parts of the Madrid game, which was sit deep and let them play in front of us. The problem was we would get a point, get a touch on the ball, and then everyone would go, fucking hell, we can win this now. And then we go, and then Man City would sit there and go Nico O'Reilly into Gvardiol, into Gonzalez, into Diaz, into Foden or Cherky, and then all of a sudden 5-hour plays out the game because they've done fucking man-to-man press, which never works. Man-to-man press does not work.
Yeah. I just want to point this out too, because it took a while for us to also suss you guys out, because we were trying to play through the middle. We were trying to play through the midfield and be central, and you guys clogged that up.
We were actually able at managing that.
Yeah, and you were getting some joy, because I was losing my mind because Gvardiol 3-4 instances gave up the ball, like he was trying to be a little too cute with some of those central passes, and you guys were then running downhill on us. But it's a game where I thought maybe the fact that he ran this 11 back. He ran this back after playing Real Madrid, that the latter stages or when the energy need to stay up, we were able to still get at you. And we're home, right? So we still had the momentum, we had the energy. But I felt like we were able to get to all of those 50-50s a lot quicker. And we were, like the stats pointed out, we were there within those duels. And we were on it. We were on it because we had to play this game. We had to play this game to stay.
Can I ask you a question, though? How many of your lineup played against Dortmund midweek?
Oh man, we had everyone but
Bernardo. Bernardo was the only
Bernardo
one.
rested. Yeah, he rested Bernardo. And
I think he was the only one.
Yeah.
Like Bernardo, but like that was the only one. So I get what you're saying, but with all due respect, one player should not be the difference between us.
No, it was more than one. I'm looking at it. It was Reinders, Savinho.
But we had
John Stones.
Yeah, it's quite
so
a few.
3.
Three.
Oh, okay. So that makes it a little bit more understandable. But then, in the same breath, I think all those Liverpool fans were sitting there when the lineup came out and went, "That's about the right lineup." I don't disagree with any of that.
Fair.
Hindsight.
I'm not saying that it was the wrong lineup to start. But I mean, when the game's getting away from you, when you see that these players aren't getting in, maybe it should have been some of those earlier subs.
I'll be honest. I think the manager tapped out quite early. I think his first set of subs were a sign of he kind of knew we weren't winning that game. If he thought we could have won that game, he would have kept the striker on the pitch.
Yeah, I get what you guys said about Isak didn't come on because he went 3-0 down. The goal was on the 60th minute. Normally 55 minutes, nothing's changed. You make like an attacking substitution, and you didn't make your first until the 79th minute.
No, he
brought
Gakpo and Kerkez on, didn't he? He brought Gakpo and Kerkez on.
Gakpo was
the 79th.
No, that's idiot. I've got the Real Madrid.
I've got 56.
Sorry. My apology. He did make that, but I still thought maybe Isak. But again, if you ain't, I look at it this way. I get players not being fit enough to start games. I know some fans get a bit menstrual about that, but I understand that. But if you're on the bench, you've got to be able to play 30, 40 minutes. Otherwise, what's the fitness test for 5 minutes? It's crazy. Ash, I know you're here primarily to speak on you're here to speak about the VAR thing, right? Primarily.
Yeah, I've got some VAR stuff.
So we're gonna get onto that in just a second. Egal, I'm gonna speak to Egal, then we're gonna do the super chats, and we're gonna get round to it. We've got all the time in the world. It's Sunday, it's the international break. We're 7th in the league, and we're gonna chat to Egal here. Oh, my finger slipped. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Let me get this off. Let me get this off my screen. Sorry, I just can't. There, it's off now. Egal, what are you here to say, bro?
You know what? I don't even have to banter anybody. I could just read off all the stats from the game and just say hi to Tom. But let's keep
Hello,
it
Egal, mate.
Let's keep it real though. You guys seen Arsenal slip up, and you thought it was going to be an opportunity for yourselves to catch up and get back into the title race. Man City were the only team that looked like they were trying to win that game. Liverpool were playing catch up the whole game. And yes, there's small margins in these games. You could have maybe Salah could have scored a goal. Your goal shouldn't have been disallowed. But at the end of the day, you conceded 3 goals, and the biggest issue you've had for this poor run you've had is your defense. Your defense is not reliable. Your manager has still not been able to figure out what your best lineup is shape-wise, in my opinion. And I thought you guys kind of fixed it the last couple games, but they exposed you today with Doku's dribbling ability. Doku literally broke open that game multiple times. City's players all stepped up. Erling Haaland didn't even have a great game, to be fair. He missed a penalty. He scored a deflected goal. I look at this other players in City's team, and I say to myself, it was a team win, a great performance from the whole City team, and I underestimated City this season. I'm not coming here to banter Liverpool. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I think a lot of people underestimated City, including myself. Your defense, you started off the season poor. You conceded goals left, right, and center. You changed the goalkeeper, and it's revolutionized your defense. And not only has it revolutionized your defense, it's increased the confidence you have in pushing forward in these games against teams like Liverpool. When you came to our ground earlier in the season, we literally had you pinned back with 1 goal. I think if we faced you now, it'd be a whole different story. You'd be chasing the game, trying to get that second a lot more. So fair play to City and Liverpool. Yeah, I think your Premier League season is done. I think it's safe to say you guys are not coming back from this. 17 goals conceded, 18 goals scored. You have a goal difference of 1. You're currently behind Manchester United, and I just don't see any idea on how you guys are going to turn this around. I look at you guys every single time you guys play. You look void of any ideas when it comes to creativity, and when it comes to defensively, your best players are making mistakes left, right, and center. I'm looking at Konate. If he goes to Real Madrid looking like that, grass might not be greener on the other side. He might get run out of Real Madrid if he puts in those kind of performances. If he leaves Liverpool, Van Dijk's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and himself. He can't hold it all together by himself forever. All your new signings have been poor. Every single one of them have been poor. I don't know one player.
Ekitike is not being poor.
I don't know. Okay,
he was today.
Ekitike
horrible today.
Overall,
Ekitike is okay. But when it comes down to it, I'm looking at your manager and I'm saying, how long does this continue? And I'm not going to. I know Liverpool historically is a team and an institution that stays pat and confident and holds confidence in their managers. But 6 losses out of your last 10 in the Premier League since the last international break, you've just continuously dropped points. And I'm looking at the situation. I'm saying, how long will this continue before there's uproar and within the fan base and the board actually has to make an action? Because I don't think
the next two games in the Premier League, we could lose both. Straight up.
You could. I just want to back Egal a little bit here, and this is just food for thought. Like Ekitike started life at Liverpool brilliantly. Goal in the Community Shield, goal and assist against Bournemouth, and a goal against Newcastle first 3 games. Since then, he has played for you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times he's played since then. He got goals in back-to-back games against Everton and Southampton. Since then, though, it's been about 8 games and it's 1 goal. So what I will say, even with Ekatike, I'm not taking any of his goals away. He has got 6 goals. But 5 of them came in the first sort of 4 or 5 weeks of being a player for you. You go over the last 2.5 months, and it's slowing down dramatically as well. So, and he won't get the same criticism that Benjamin Šeško's getting because he got those early goals. But even he isn't delivering in the same way that he was when he first came in. To be fair, it's a fact.
I mean, a lot. So after that run of games where he started pretty much every game at the start of the season.
He's a confidence player, and he's not really been backed by the manager since then.
I don't even think it's actually started the last however many games.
He started the last 5 and got 1 goal in 5 games.
When we were a little bit better at the start of the season and we were getting the results, he was playing well. And then he got took out the team at the start of this bad run. So he missed the Crystal Palace game with suspension because of the stupid red card he got. Then he was on the bench for Chelsea and he was on the bench for Man United. And the first start he has afterwards, I think he starts Galatasaray, and he was actually all right in that game. And then the first start he has after being on the bench for a couple of games is Frankfurt, where he's the best forward on the days. We win 5-1. And then since then, we've altered the setup and pushed everything through Salah again, which I don't think is an inherent bad thing, but it means that he's getting less of the opportunities that we're getting presented to him at the start of the season. I agree that most of our signings haven't hit the standards that we expected. I think that there needs to be an element of time afforded to them, which they're not going to get because some of them costed a lot of money, which is fair enough. Rather than sit there and say what they want,
is that Tom Ram K-Mac? Is that the most painful bit? Champions, 420 million spent, and now you're behind Man United. I don't mean the Man United bit's the bad bit, but we know we're not great. Is that what hurts? That it's best in England? You invest that much, the expectation's massive, because I have to hold my hands up. I thought you were going to be so much better than this. Even after the last 2 wins, I looked at you and went, okay, confidence is growing. There's a bit of swagger. I can't wait for the City game. And then I watched you today and it was like, fucking hell.
I think the thing that's got me is that we're caught between ideals. I think ultimately that this manager would much rather have done a full reset this summer rather than the middle ground that we're in at the minute, where he's got to... I feel like he's almost accommodating Mohamed Salah into his setup when he doesn't want to. I think he wants to play how he done against Frankfurt, where he can play 2 strikers up top. I think at the minute, as a football club, we're caught between errors. And right now, we're trying to acclimatise both of them, which is leading to sometimes he's putting too many new signings in, but wanting them to emulate old players, which isn't the case. And then when the old guard aren't there, the new ones can come in, and then you start sitting there going, oh, wow, they're doing all right. And then you're going, but the next game, we're going to have to take them out. And the old guard, for the most part, even Mohamed Salah in the last how many games, he's played well for the most part.
Tom, are you actually being paid?
I'm saying it's not. I'm not saying it's an excuse.
What's stopping
it's not a cop out. A cop out would be saying it's fine.
I think ass football for 2025.
We haven't played arse football for 2025, though. That's another bollocks thing.
All over the place. For once, I actually agree with Egal. Like, we have no identity anymore. We're all over the shop. Like, are you really holding your hat with Frankfurt, who are possibly one of the worst teams in conceding goals right now?
At no point are the same holding my hat on Frankfurt.
60 goals this season? Like,
at no point are the same
really hanging our hat on that one? Look,
at no point are the same holding my hat on that.
Slot has lost more games than Amarin in 2025 in all competitions.
Okay,
like
we have
been Amarin.
And
you bring the
look,
glory there.
Spin it how you want, whether we spend 450 million or not. But Roy Hodgson and Brendan Rodgers got sacked for losing less games. This guy needs to go.
Okay, and now we are going to the ultra extreme without any fucking context, aren't we? We're going to the ultra extreme without any context.
Can we not do the sweeping statements, because I thought we're better than doing all these sweeping statements.
K-Mac, you're going to the fucking ultra extreme with no context.
We got 2 weeks to get some money.
You're a wall, K-Mac. You're a wall.
Garbage.
Bro, you have more loyalty to
I'm trying to lighten the mood. Sorry.
Tom, you have more loyalty.
I hate the fucking blanket statements of how many losses we had in 2025
Tom,
because when we
you
were
have more
losing them
loyalty.
games last year, no one gave a shit.
You have more loyalty to Arne Slot than Salah, who won you everything. It's kind of weird.
Nowhere have I said
What?
that.
Where did you
Nowhere
get
have I
that
said
from?
that, though, Miguel?
Egal,
No,
where did you get that from?
You just said you feel
I
like
said what I think the manager wants, not what I want.
Okay, so what do you
I think
want?
the manager wants to move away from Salah.
No.
I don't want to.
This is like the Notebook. It's not about what he wants, what your mother wants, what your brother wants. What do you want? What do you want, Ali?
Number one, I want to know what you want. No, I want to know
What I
what you
want.
want. Yeah, and number two, before you say
What I
anything,
want, what he wants, what she
what's
wants.
stopping?
What do you
what's
want?
stopping him from playing the way that he played against Frankfurt?
Big
He
up
hasn't
Noah.
played again since.
Because no, he has done because he done the exact same thing against Brentford. He played this. He played the same 11 that he could afford to, bar Isak for Salah because of an injury against Brentford. But he set up the same way. So again, these
why didn't he
sweeping
set up that way?
statements, which aren't true, have covered our whole season. If you want to know what I want us to do, I want us to start Isak and Salah when possible, with Vert in behind in the 10. I want us to play Szoboszlai, Jones, and if you want one more on top of that, one more on top of that. And I want us to start playing Joe Gomez at centre-back more often, because too many times we are getting exploited by teams identifying Ibrahim Konate's lack of ability on the ball as a weakness. Too many times this season.
You're playing a 3-4-3.
You could set it up in a 4-2-3-1. You could set it up in a 4-3-3.
So where
I
would
don't.
you-
I'll be honest again. I don't give a shit what fucking arbitrary formation we play. I really
agree with
don't.
that.
I just want to get the best players on the pitch in the positions they can impact the game most. And I feel that too many times this
You
season.
think that, but this is the question I've got for you though, because I know your thoughts on the manager. I know what your thoughts on everyone else who thinks of the manager as well. Do you think the manager can get the best out of the players that we've got at the moment?
100%. Because he got the best. He got the best out of worst players last season.
No.
Did he?
Yes, because we won the fucking league.
Or did he get the best out of your best players?
Oh, here
We
we
won
go.
the fucking league.
Here's the word again. He won the league.
Yes, K-Mac, he won the league.
That's the only argument anybody's got.
Fuck, it's a strong argument. It's a strong
Oh,
argument. I back this manager to win me a league.
Oh, yeah, but he won the league.
One second.
Yeah, he did win the league. But
He won the league in 2024.
No, but this is. We did not win the league in just 2024 because
Guys,
Arsenal
won the league
guys,
because
we
of
were
Arsenal.
still 4 points
Guys,
behind
you guys
Arsenal
won the league
by the
because
time it hit
Arsenal didn't win
2025.
it.
We are not doing this. We are not. I am not rewriting.
We are.
history about. No, Terry, we're not rewriting history. I get it. We are not rewriting.
fun.
How
you
many
guys
times
won
have
the
we
league.
given? No,
One
Egal,
second.
Egal,
guys
stop.
won the league,
How
but
many
he's
times
not
have we
the
given
best out of
Arne
every
Slot
player.
so much credit? The way that Gravenberch was playing, the way that we're playing a more measured style of football. How many times have we been reaping the
got the
praise
best
of
out of
Arne Slot for
Salah.
the last season?
He got the best out of Salah and Van Dijk and Gravenberch and your key players, but not every single player. Let's not act like every single player was chipping in and making a big difference. It wasn't that. There was. I would say
What?
four.
What are you talking about? Are you just here? I don't. Egal, are you just here to troll? Are you just here
No,
to
I'm
troll?
dead serious.
beg,
I'm
just here to
beg
troll.
are
I'm
you
dead
just
serious.
troll?
No. I'm not
sorry,
here to
what?
troll. I'm dead serious.
Because you were too busy crying about referees last season for Arsenal, and that's why you.
Okay,
wanted
well,
to
no,
leave.
hold on,
Now you guys are here sitting here crying about yourselves.
Which positions, Egal, which positions for Liverpool last year got carried by us? Which positions got away with being shit last year? Which players?
positions got away with
Which players and which positions? Because you're saying
No,
that certain
not
players
about what
carried
was
us through.
being shit. I felt like you guys got carried by your core players, and it wasn't the collective of all the little players chipping in here and there. It was
Who's the little players?
No, you don't need. No, stop. I hate this stupid
One second.
GA stuff.
No,
I know what you're talking about.
It's not about GA.
It's not all about GA because the amount of times that we cussed Dominic Szoboszlai last season, but then when the manager came out, when Salah came out, actually Dominic Szoboszlai did a lot of the defensive work. I did, and then the narrative switched with that. That is one reason why we were able to get as much goals as we did. Because of people like Szoboszlai contributing without the GNA, McAllister contributing without the GNA. Those are the reasons why we won the league last season. It's not all, because we have such a narrow-minded footballing sphere that they always just think about GNA is the reason why you.
I'm not talking about GNA.
Everything.
Ram, as a Liverpool supporter,
Wijnaldum and Henderson didn't get
Van
GNA,
Dijk,
but
you happy
all
with
reasons why we
mid-table
won the
this
league.
season
One
because
second.
it won the league last season.
You guys
You
won
happy
the
with
league last
mid-table
What are
this
you
season
on about
because it won the
mid-table
league
this
last
season?
season?
What do you want about mid-table this season?
Because you really think we're going to beat Sunderland playing the way we play? Because he's not going to suddenly go, you know what? I've suddenly worked out an amazing way how to play Liverpool football.
That's also not football, though, is it? We just beat fucking Aston Villa last week. We were on a fucking tear.
Play against teams. He hasn't. We got no idea.
This is a manager last year who done the fucking double over Pep Guardiola. Who this season beat Mikel Arteta, who stopped the league by how many fucking points? He's sitting there going, he can't adapt.
Hang on a minute, Tom. Tom, how many games did we win in the last minute with an individual goal?
By the way,
last season, last season,
so last minute wins last year counted, but they don't this year.
I have no qualms with any
individuals, mate. Individuals
that we can do better with this.
That's the real quiz.
Literally, I have no qualms with anyone saying that they would rather have somebody else as manager. But what we're not going to do, what we're not going to do, what we're not going to do is rewrite history and make sweeping statements saying that he didn't. Well, he wasn't a massive contribution to why we didn't win. Why we won the league?
Who had a bigger impact on winning the league? Mo Salah, Van Dijk, and all these main key players, or would you say Arne Slot?
Arne Slot,
because he had to get everyone together.
Because Egal, hold on a fucking minute, Egal. Hold on a minute. What you do is
a lot of your key players.
We're just going to run the fucking blanket statement.
The year before, Egal said everything will fall away because of your club leaving.
Applies to this season. Relax. You still have.
He said that. But apparently, because the players aren't good enough, that's why.
You still have McAllister.
So there must be a reason.
Why are they not performing?
Egal, hold on.
Let me just jump.
We had all them players in Jurgen Klopp's last season. We had all them players. We had all them players in Jurgen Klopp's last season, and we finished third. So why didn't we win the league that year?
You still have Salah, you still have Van Dijk, you still have McAllister, you still have Gravenberch, you still have Konate. Why are you not winning? It's down to Arne Slot.
No, it isn't.
It's not down to Arne Slot, though.
It's down to Arne Slot.
It's not.
It isn't.
Guys, can I jump to Ash for a minute? I've got to go on for a bathroom break. But Ash, have a little chat. Go on, Ash, have a little talk for a second. Let the boys cool down.
One, the reason why it's not just down to that, you're taking something massively out of context of what happened in summer. Someone, a massive player for Sunderland and at Liverpool and in their dressing room, passed away. That has had a massive effect on everyone in that team, and you can tell from how Salah has been. He will be affected by this, and that can't just be overwritten. And the thing is, you've got to think about the players that Arne Slot has brought in. He's not had a settled squad. He's brought in the likes of Isak, who's not been able to settle in because obviously he didn't have any preseason, so he had to sit out. And then he's had a groin injury since then. There's no point in bringing him on 20 minutes left because he's not really going to do a lot, to be honest. There are circumstances in this. Salah is not at the position or place clearly in his head of where he was at last season. That's regardless of the manager.
Address that.
But what I'm saying is how Salah's performance is nothing to do with the manager.
I just want to say, I'm not going to address that. I feel like that's an unfortunate situation. I want to stay on the football side.
No, it is, but you can't just pretend that has not got an effect on the rest of the team.
Galvanize the team, though.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
Galvanize the team.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen like that.
Personally, RIP to the guy, but I don't want to bring it up in every conversation. I just feel like it's distasteful if we bring it up.
No, but I'm saying is you can't just say that he's the there's no reason why.
By the way, all the big channels are using that as the excuse, and I think it's disgraceful if I'm completely honest.
I don't want to bring that up.
An explanation is not an excuse.
Yeah, it's not. Listen, right?
I'm not saying an excuse. I don't want to get myself involved in that conversation. Respect the guy who, unfortunate passing. Nobody's criticizing the players for that. Simply just wanted to state that. I'm gonna head out. I was strictly speaking about this season and your performances. You brought that up. Have a good day, guys.
Guys, let me.
That makes no.
It's not.
That makes no sense. He sat there and was
like, he was just here just to say
Bro, the thing is, right? I'm going to say this, right? Can
you talk about the VAR thing? Because I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Just now, guys, before we move on, right? What it is I want to tell you all again, because you all keep missing this whole thing. You all have to understand. Slot came in and inherited Klopp's team.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Listen. He is. You all have.
Where did you predict us to finish last season?
Wait. You all have to be realistic. He
Fifth or sixth,
inherited
probably.
a team that was not his own. Now he is trying to make this team his own. So
but you have to admit, right? You have to admit. I bet you any money if you predicted where Liverpool would finish, which Tom is right here, and if not a single person expected Liverpool to win the title last season.
Wouldn't.
So exactly. So you've got to give Slot some credit for that.
Now here's the thing. That is a bit, because I was telling myself this. We were all a bit naive to think that all these new signings was going to come in and gel immediately. That's never going to happen.
That I agree
That's
with.
never going to happen.
Exactly.
I think that's total bollocks, by the way, because you have to look at Sunderland and Bournemouth and those other teams that have also signed loads of new players.
Yes,
but
you're taking away the teams that they've played as well.
But the thing about it is, with those teams, they already had a style of playing with the current manager they have. You will have to understand. He inherited Klopp's team. Now he's trying to make this team his own, and
he needs time.
He needs time.
Also, the whole Bournemouth has signed loads of players in our starting 11. He signed 2. Out of the team that played today, it's the left back.
Yes, but you will have to be realistic. You will have to give that manager time.
Okay, so he spent 450 million and then give someone a year off. Okay, great.
Right.
That's how it works. Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
He's fucking gone.
Bro, listen.
I understand Liverpool fans.
We still got most of the squad
going through the cost right now
because we've got 8 players that played last season. Like, we're still playing 8 players in both games, by the way, that played last season.
I know you didn't spend as much money, K-Mac, but you remember when you won the Premier League last time? You did fall off the next season.
We only spent like, I don't know, 500 grand or something like that.
Yeah, I understand that, right? But sometimes, I don't think football's... I know he deserves criticism, and I get why he would go. And I get that it isn't great. And I understand that the default reaction is always manager's got to go. But there's so much praise for him last year. I remember being on the streams, and a lot of the people that are turning on him were like, this man's come in, he's one of the hardest jobs in football, taken over from a legend, he's done this, he's done that. And it's what's really interesting, if this would have been your season last year, even with money being spent, I get this feeling there'd have been more patience with him. It would have been, well, he's taken over from a legend, it's gone backwards, we'll give him time to go forward. But because he's won something straight away, again, and I'm not saying he is, and this is where I want to make sure people don't misinterpret me. I'm not saying he shouldn't be criticised, because I've criticised him. I'm not saying his job shouldn't be under threat. But what I do like from a study perspective is the fact that I wonder if he'd have started poorly, if the same people that want him out now would have given him more time. I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued.
Got more time. You would have got more time.
Came out. To me, it seems you've marked your line in the sand. Who would you get to replace him?
That's the thing, Tom. Like the guys that I would have replaced him with, they're in jobs.
So you just want him gone.
And so you just want him gone, and then we'll just
there's probably Mancini's available. He'd be really good. He kind of built Man City.
Are we in 2011? We're in 2011.
The guy from Club Bruges.
My God.
I think he'd be pretty good.
So you're saying Arnie Slot can't manage this team, but a man from Club Bruges who's managed this team on the minute will handle them.
Have you seen how well they played?
It's fucking Club Bruges.
Champions League for the last 3 years in a row.
You guys just had 51%.
I'd say Iraola would be decent as well. And
Iraola's just lost 4-0 to a team Arnie Slot beat 2-0 last week.
So what? So what? We probably would have beat Feyenoord when Arnie Slot was the manager.
The thing is, we wanted new managers, barring Mancini, who I think's been off the boil club-wise for a while. The thing with managers, they're a bit like most pop stars or clothes. It's about what's fashionable and trendy at a particular moment, because guys, I've got to do some super chats here, because otherwise they're not going to get done, and I don't want to disrespect them. I'm really sorry. This here says
Glasner's contract's going to expire, by the way.
Oh yeah, because he'll go down really well with our fucking executive.
Well, he seems to have our card, Mark, doesn't he?
That's fantastic.
That's
one aspect of a manager.
Let's do these super chats, please. This here says that the rule is elbow higher than the shoulder equals a foul. Garrett, Now, I've got a reputation for defending Arsenal, but I swear Marino was like lower than the guys.
Yeah, he was.
Marino was lower than the guys. He was lower than the defender's shoulder. So it's not. Do you get what I mean? It's one of them. Otherwise,
what did Gabriel do to Nick Voltamada? That elbow.
Oh, don't cry, you.
Hello.
Talk about
Garnacho was cooking against Liverpool too for Doku for context. I hear you, Blaze, but Doku's been good this season. Doku's been very good this season. Look at Don. I feel sorry for him. These are from a while ago. These, to be fair, we didn't get round to them. Yeah, Sam was fuming tonight. This is the same Man City side that came to the Emirates and played 11 players behind the ball. So as Arsenal fans, not worried at all. We're going to win the league comfortably, is what Dave says here.
I rate the confidence.
Well, do you know what? If the next 11 games go like the first 11 games, by and large, then you'll be 8 points clear and you'll be moving towards that comfortability factor. So, but do you know what I'd love, by the way? Just take me out as a United fan. Just I'd like this. I'd love Arsenal to be, 22 points as well. Imagine top to like 13th being separated by like 6 or 7 points. I actually love the league. The league this year, and this is no disrespect to Liverpool winning it last year. I just feel it just feels maybe not more competitive in terms of the individual games. It's just what's weird is I don't think anyone's winning accumulators this year. You go, Bournemouth are in a good run. They're going to win. Villa 4 weeks ago, I get relegated. They're now battering everybody. Football's mad, man. I love this game. Husam didn't Klopp Liverpool press high. They press the shit out of City. They did. Thank you, Luke, for encouraging everybody to hit the like button. Liverpool let their best player go to Bayern.
If anyone watched the Bayern game,
Jesus Christ.
How would Sam set up the team and tactics? What's your starting 11? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screenshot this, right? Because he's not here, right? I'm going to screenshot that super chat. I've done it now. And I'm going to ask him that on Straight Facts this week. Solomon, my old brother, my old mate, my old pal. Big up your damn self, Vator. Well done. It's funny. The same fans who talk so much about Arsenal when we drop points just can't judge their own players. Yeah, I don't want to hear Sam judge players anymore now, to be fair. Do we get a City scary video now? No, because at the same time that I was doing Arsenal scare me videos, I was saying City were the best team in the world and one of the greatest European sides of all time. Much bigger praise. And by the way, this account, I'm dropping a video in the international break about him because he keeps accusing me of buying bots.
Ooh.
But he has an account that has no videos, barring 3 shorts, but he has 27,000 followers. Anyway,
you're gonna see that account disappear now.
Yeah, I bet he's gone. That's all screenshotted. No, I don't know who he is, but he made me laugh. He's obviously in the States. Don't worry, he knows football more than us. That's obviously towards the Sam. Real Madrid played like a crap team against Liverpool. Is what Rosie says here.
We made them look crap though. In that game, we played very well that game. We also didn't play very well today.
Easier to chase Arsenal, helps to be in the chase. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, no Arsenal fans here to ask, but we'll do that on Six-Sided tomorrow. Would they rather be ahead or chasing? We'll see. Fans saying Ozil Liverpool didn't play the same way they did against Madrid. I'm forgetting that Doku was getting doubled up on when rinsing both players, whereas Vinny Jr. wasn't doing that, so he couldn't play the same way.
Liverpool won their individual battles and individual duels against Real Madrid, and they didn't today. Do you want to know a mad stat, Teddy? Liverpool's starting midfield and 2 centre-backs won a combined 0 tackles today.
Do you know what's really interesting? And I noticed this with Man United a lot. When we win games, the same. Sorry, let me start here. When we lose a match or have a bad result, the people that just want to crush it on the system and the manager and go all in are quite often the same very people who will praise individuals when you do really, really well and won't compliment the manager.
Yeah, because the manager wins in spite of the players.
Yeah,
the players just drag him to it.
I find it. I'm seeing this a lot in football analysis at the moment, and maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I'm in the wrong here. So I can't wait to have these debates over the international break. But there's this element of I don't want to hear about individuals when people aren't happy with their manager. But at the end of the day, if you take Cunha as an example, if Cunha was as good at holding the ball up yesterday away at Spurs as he was away against Liverpool, if he did his job to a very good level yesterday, the game could have been very different. And I think we're getting to a stage now where this is the mad bit. I also see the same people that just blame managers and systems are the same people that are crying out for more individuality, but yet their players try to do something individual, mess it up, and they go, I'm blaming the manager. Why? Because he does zonal marking at corners. That's why my player loses the ball as target man. I find it's getting weird out here now, to be fair.
I did say Slot did a masterclass against Real Madrid. I did.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking in general here.
Like his tactics and subs were brilliant in that game.
But also, this is the question, I suppose, K-Mac. Would they have been brilliant if those players had bad games and didn't execute? Do we all, including me, do we all have a bias, right? If a manager goes with a certain way to play, but let's just go Man United, Liverpool.
We play differently today. That isn't on the players. That's the setup.
Hang on. No. Yeah. Hang on though. You're not hearing my point, right? Let's just say Man United, Liverpool. Let's say Ahmad overhits that ball to Mbumo, or Mbumo gets the ball delivered correctly, but he skies it over the bar. As an example, right? Let's say Bruno crosses that ball, but Maguire heads it and it goes out and it lands in someone's back garden. Would people have said Amorim masterclass if those players messed up those two moments? I'm not sure they would. I think sometimes we go, the system was crap today, and there's
you had a lot of other chances, by the way.
There's room for that. Well, I get that. This is what it comes down to. Are we all, and I'm including myself, is there an element of bias in all of us here where when a manager goes with an approach and the players don't deliver, I look at it and go, if someone's angry with a manager, it's always the system was the wrong choice. But what if the players won their individual battles and delivered? Why is there no accountability on the players to deliver?
Because this is a common theme. This has happened over and over again. So, how many times are you going to blame the players? Like, for me, I'm probably praising the players that we managed to win the first 5 games of the season.
So, have you been blaming Salah for his?
Because we were all over the place in those games. Like,
have you been blaming?
We were very good against Arsenal.
So what are we doing then? What are we doing then? Are we not going to praise the players? Are we praising Slot for us winning those games in the last minute?
But this again, I'm not making. But I'm not making a statement here. I'm just spitballing. We're just spitballing. Hang on. But we're spitballing, right? Your individuals delivered in their games to make you win. But what if you didn't? What if those players didn't deliver with the last kick of the game in those games? What if they delivered in the 8th minute? What if they delivered in the 54th minute? What if they delivered in the 70th minute and you won 3-0? I looked at yesterday.
The manager
one attack in the first half. The one attack in the first half we scored from was because the cross was very good and the finish was very good. In the second half, Man United got the ball in really dangerous positions, but on 4 or 5 occasions, Cunha made the wrong choice and run into the crowd rather than laying the ball off or running to where there was space. Šeško, I still don't believe the first pass through to him was a chance. The ball was slightly overhit. But when he got the ball, he should have gone on the outside, not the inside. If he goes on the outside and shoots with his left foot because he's left-footed and scores, is a system suddenly brilliant? If that pass,
now, aren't you, Terry?
No, I'm not. I'm not terrorizing you. Hang on. I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm not even saying we're going to debate it. It's food for thought for other days. But my point is, if those 2 opportunities for Šeško, if his first touch is better and he scores, does that make the entirety of the system brilliant? But if he misses, system shit. That's where I've got a problem. It's the polarization. It's the polarization.
United got those chances because we didn't have a midfield to win our second ball. Because we won the first ball on many occasions. We headed the ball that you pumped long.
So again, let's play the game. So it wasn't out. Hang on. So yeah, it wasn't out. So this is my point. This is what I mean. Again, I'm not making a statement. It's food for thought. So it wasn't our system or our players that won the game. It was your bad system. So we're going to another level of conversation here.
No, but you did have a good system. You brought your wingers inside to the midfield that we didn't have.
Yes, but but you're not hearing K-Mac. But if you then brought players inside and outnumbered us and won the second balls, then is it your system was better than ours? Was our system bad? Was yours just better? Or was it? Hang on, let me finish. Wait, K-Mac, wait. Or was it that your players won their individual battles? Was it that both systems were fine, but one team won their individual battles more than the other? My point is, I think all of us have a shred of bias in us where if we like a manager, we often look more at the players. If we don't like a manager, system. But yet in certain games, if a player does something good, it's the system's either great or we go individual moments of brilliance won the game. But I expect top players at top clubs to consistently have moments of brilliance, like Haaland all year, like Doku today. I don't expect Doku now to go 10 games without doing what he did today again, ripping people up. I expect players at City to do that on a very frequent basis. And if Doku had done that all of last season, do you think City would have been that far away from the title race? No. I just don't think by the way, on a real level, managers shouldn't go through a situation where they get no blame. But nor should players. But I think, depending on people's disposition towards a manager, I think there's a lot of heavy bias in analysis these days.
I think what people need to realise is they need to look at managers. It's the manager's job to get the best out of players. They set up a team in a certain way. It's their job to be able to get the best out of players from training them through the week and stuff to get them to be a certain way. If then you see players start playing better, but in, say, a game, they just magically sky it over the bar, that's on the player. That's not on the manager. That's not on training or something. That, like, otherwise the XG would be 1 per shot or something, which it isn't. It's not every single shot is guaranteed to go in a certain place where they want it to be. You need to be able to break it down to be able to look. It's probably 50-50 on players and 50% on managers. You can look at certain situations, like, say, if a manager brings on certain players or doesn't do certain subs, then yeah, you can make an argument on that. But I don't think you can just straight up say Slot needs to go. Like, I agree with you. I think it's a combination of everything, because it's this thing of, like, people go on about moments. We're a moments team. City won today because of great moments. But what they did today, and Doku hasn't done this enough in a City shirt, it was consistent moments, consistently beating Bradley, consistently being dangerous. Football matches are about moments. And do you know who taught us this probably more than any other manager? Was Pep. Pep has consistently said, my system gets my players to the edge of the box. Then it is down to them to create, score, and change the game. And I think there's an element of truth in that. But even then, when it comes to the system, there's a game where, like, Nico is amazing today. But let's just say the next game comes and every time the ball comes into him, it bounces off of him like a tennis ball hitting a brick wall. I'm not blaming the system for that. Like we said earlier on to Husam, I don't think you guys pressing early in the game was the reason that Konate was bad on the ball. I don't think that was the reason that Bradley was getting cooked. I don't think that was the reason that Ekatike and Viets couldn't link up together today. I don't think that was the reason that O'Reilly got the better by and large of Mo Salah. The system wasn't the only reason that individuals had really bad games. And I just think it's become, in the football fan discourse, really disingenuous. But I think it's all because of agendas. And by the way, agendas, there's no problem with them. Okay, some people don't have opinions anymore, though they have agendas, and I'm going to push this agenda. And what they do, every game is an opportunity to push the agenda rather than reviewing what actually happened in that particular moment. And I'll use Šeško as an example. We see this a lot in the United fan base at the minute. Some people don't think he's good enough. So he has a game like yesterday, and it's C. Told you I was right. Let's say he plays against, touching wood, he hasn't got a bad injury. Let's say he plays against Everton, bags a brace. The guys that think he's good enough go, see, told you he's good enough. My issue is, as someone who consumes content, it's fucking boring hearing the same debate after every little moment because you don't actually have an end result. Garnacho at Chelsea, Jesse, some like him, some don't. You can't be reassessing the conclusion after every appearance. You've got to give it a period of time. Sort of, you can review the individual game and go, he was good today, he was bad today, should have come on earlier, should have been taken off sooner.
But we haven't always got to have it as, didn't I tell you? And I mean, content creators do this now all the time. Remember, I told you. Remember, I told you. See what I tell you. I told you so. And it's becoming boring. I'm not going to lie. I think it's becoming very, very boring indeed. You know, and some people might call me out for it. And I know I've done it. That's why I'm saying it. But one of the big things I was saying when Man United won 3 on the bounce, and I don't know if any of you guys were on those match reactions. I know the Liverpool boys were. I said, today isn't about calling out Amram Outers to say, are you wrong? Do you change your mind? No, why would they after 3 games? Equally, anyone who thinks that he should stay, you've not been proven right because he's gone unbeaten in 5 games. And I think there's just got a bit, for me, more balance in these conversations. We can talk, and today's been very good by and large, where it's been predominantly about the game, more so than the macro issues at the club. I know we've kind of gone into it a little bit more, but I just think we can just be in the moment a little bit more as football fans, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Liverpool, I know, play quick. Wirtz doesn't fit the style. The Premier League, he don't fit right now. He doesn't.
He's just not physical enough.
Oh, I agree. To be honest, Liverpool limited City centrally, but Doku required 3 players and was still man of the match. He created imbalance and was the difference on the day, in my opinion. I think he was the difference maybe on an attacking front. But what I wouldn't do to City in that regard, and I don't know if you guys agree on the panel, but O'Reilly handled Salah handled Salah very, very well.
Yeah,
Nico controlled the middle very, very well. Haaland gets his goal. His hold-up play was excellent as well. It was more than one City player for me though that created the difference. It was they won nearly every individual battle.
That was exactly why I'm trying to make this emphasis of why I don't understand why people aren't like putting any pressure or blame on what Salah's doing, because he should be doing things on Nico and Riley. Like he's a young right left back, so he's going to struggle against someone like Salah. But obviously the pace and stuff, like Salah was being exposed and couldn't really do anything against him, which I was very surprised at.
Yeah. Egal, what game are you watching? Haaland was brilliant in the build-up play against the centre-backs. He just didn't score the penalty. That doesn't mean he wasn't good. Yeah, I thought Haaland was excellent today. There was a bit of hold-up he did. It's fairly early in the game. It just stood out to me. We kind of controlled the ball and then knocked it over a Liverpool player. I don't know which one it was. It might have been McAllister. He's fantastic today. Haaland's just probably been the best player in the Premier League this year, individually. I'm trying to think of someone who's been, but you could argue.
Semenyo, but no.
Semenyo's been good.
I don't think anyone comes close to him just because of his goal outputs. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of someone who is an individual that I look at and go, yeah, he's been better.
Consistently, he is the best at this moment. He is.
That's the thing is, like, at the end of the day, football comes down to goals and goal lines. He's the person that's scoring and getting City the wins. So he's got to get the plug.
Gabriel at Arsenal's probably a very good shout. I know he didn't have a good game yesterday, but again, that wouldn't stop you from winning Player of the Year. Like if you carry on going. But Haaland's just been on another level. Look, Mbumo's been one of the best players in the league this year, you know, and he's starting to score the goals now and everything else. No, I agree. But what I was trying to think about in my head wasn't who else has been good. It was who do I think has been better than Haaland? I can't think of anyone that I would die on a hill on and say has been better than him. There's, you know, if Mbumo got voted it, great. If Gabriel got voted it, great. But I wouldn't look at any of them and go, they're miles ahead. Like no one has been much better than him this year. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, I think it says a lot when people say the only way that Arsenal might lose his title is because of Haaland. Like not because of Man City, but because of his goal outputs and what he could do for City. Like he's just on another level, man.
No, I agree. I do. Egal is right. Actually, Liverpool last season was carried by 3 or 4 players, not the whole team. Now this season, it's been a struggle because these players have not shown up. I didn't really get involved in that debate, but Salah was amazing last year. Van Dijk was amazing. Alisson is always amazing. Gravenberch was one of the best DMs in the league. Trent does Trent things as an example. McAllister was excellent last year as an example. And that for me, yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head if anybody else was standout, but that's like 7 players that all had very good seasons. That for me is not a carry job. personally.
It's not. It's not.
No,
like
And it's on the
I said,
manager to get the better,
you've
it's
got
on the manager to get everything to work. And you got.
I've always said one of the biggest things is a goalkeeper as well. Like Alisson, I'm telling you right now, Alisson not being there for Liverpool is absolutely massive. It's much bigger than what people think. It's the same that I said about City. Like having a good keeper, same with Man United now. Having a good keeper does madness to your team and your defense.
I don't know if Alisson would help with those goals.
No, maybe it wouldn't help the goals, but it's the structural element. But you know what? Like another player last year. Now again, didn't score 1 million goals, but just some really important ones. Let's not discount Jota as an example. Now that's not to bring up what's gone on and excuses, but he was another player last year that just 3 or 4 really important goals in games. You know, 9 to 10 goals in all comps. For me, it wasn't just one person scoring the goals. I don't believe in one-man teams anyway. But most teams, if you actually, this is what's crazy when you actually break down what you're saying, Ray. Start thinking about it. If we go back to 99 and go, let's take away Roy Keane, let's take away one of Colin York and take away Yap Stam. If you like take away that core, we don't win the treble. We might not have won any of the trophies that we were in. You know, you go through any team that's won the Premier League and take away 3 or 4 of their core, and that rhymed. I don't think they achieved what they've achieved. Imagine you go to Chelsea's back-to-back title-winning team and you go, right, we're taking away Terry, we're taking away Drogba, and we're taking away Lampard. They're not winning it. So as much as I get what you're saying when you say it out loud, but when you actually start to break it down, it's like...
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And not to mention, and if you put players in there for them positions, they may end up performing the exact same as what, say, Salah or whatever does. So it's just a hypothetical that doesn't make sense.
Terry don't know yet why Egal logged off.
Why Egal logged off?
I don't know why Egal logged off. Egal didn't have a...
Unless if it was similar. So basically, well, I mean, he was going anyway, but obviously I mentioned about because he was basically saying like how Arnie Slot and how everything they're so different to what they are now. And I said, and obviously I mentioned about the effect Jota would have an effect on the squad, and say Salah, which might be one of the reasons why Salah's underperforming, like you've said before. Yeah. And he was basically just saying like, I'm not going to allow that to be an excuse or whatever. And then, but
and he just dipped and left.
Yeah.
Terry, I really don't like the league this year. I bet you don't, Matty boy. I bet you don't. You're doing a derby, mate. You're doing a derby.
No, but
sorry, go on, Jess.
He's a Wolves fan, right?
Yes.
I'd hope so.
Realistically, most people could have seen the writing on the wall since last season. Wolves were poor, and I put them to get relegated this season. I had them there.
I mean, you still don't have a manager, do they?
No, they're still looking.
But I just know, right? Man United play them almost. They're out. There's one fixture I love in football, and it hasn't got a name, but it's the team you play mid-December that you play early January again, and there's always one team you play almost back to back. I just know they're going to have a new manager and bounce by then. I just know that's coming. Same as Newcastle. I know when we play Newcastle, they're going to absolutely turn up again. This year says it's the way Liverpool fans assume Wirtz was superior to Palmer due to him being more exotic. Palmer generates football like him, but with monstrous GA. A Newcastle fan might not like this. Thiago, 8 goals in the Premier League. I did love that song today. I was just landing because I flew back from Ireland. And I put the phone on. We had to wait. You know, sometimes you land in a plane, but it takes ages for them to like park it or whatever it is that they call. And it was, what was they singing? It's like whistle, whistle, what's the score? Whistle, 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 what's the score? Listen, Brentford, by the way, so we don't really speak about a lot of the other teams. They are one of the surprise packages, but they are doing what all those clubs in that little block do, where they hire a manager that's right for their squad and the way their club acts and builds. And one thing about Liverpool, and we're going to get into it more in the international break rather than the match reaction show, is this element of the teams changing, and they're changing the system and the style, and they bought players for it. I'm sitting there and going, I thought this is what Liverpool weren't going to do. The big teams could learn something from the smaller teams. Stick to a certain profile of player and a certain type of manager and just keep that continuity. But you've just got more money to maintain better squads. It doesn't make sense to change shit that ain't broken to me. I don't know why.
a few teams have like kind of gone through that. Like obviously Brighton's been amazing at doing it as well. That they just get these players and then just bring them to the next level, and then kind of become like a sell-on club and stay around sort of mid-table.
No, I hear a taxi on the runway. That's the one. Listen, I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. This is going to redirect you to Husam's channel. Go and cook that fraud over there and see if you stop crying, please, people. Thank you all for tuning in. I didn't know it was going to be this long of a show, but it has been. It's been great. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Peace.